Hey everybody, welcome back to Happily Booked, the podcast where two kindred spirits believe that the pursuit of happiness is the same thing as reading a good book and being able to talk about it. We are your hostesses, Brooke and
Beck.
And we're so glad to be here. I'm so glad I said hostesses instead of hostess. I mean, I know we are one entity, but it's not correct.
It's true. But what was funny was I didn't catch that you said that until we were listening to the playback.
Oh my gosh, I was so frustrated. I could not.
You're like, how do I edit this?
I'm like, I can't change this. Everyone's going to think I'm silly. Oh no.
I'm sure they didn't think that.
Yeah, at least they're going to say silly. Maybe I'll project that into the universe as to what they think. They won't say stupid. They might just say silly. I can live with silly.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, I'm so loud, Becky. I'm so sorry.
It's okay. I'm usually like super loud, so I mean, I think that we sound about even.
Yeah.
But it's a shame that your microphone is so far back and mine is so
The microphone's like 2 feet away from me and it's picking me up this well. This is not okay.
It's also picking her birds up pretty good this week too.
Yeah, it is. That was so funny. Yeah, for anybody who doesn't know, we have birds. They're two Budgies in the parakeet family. We named them Cosmo and Wanda. Not that they know their names, but one is green, one is blue, so not even really pink like Wanda, but we thought that was a cute name pairing. Somebody actually who listened to our first episode messaged us and said, "Oh, we can hear your birds in the background." And I said, "Oh man." You can also hear a lot of stuff in the background. You can hear the dogs' collars jingling, the birds, probably hear the house creak.
That's okay. I think that's what makes our podcast pretty cool. We're at home and, well, you're home.
Make yourself at home, Becky.
We're just, two friends having a laid back conversation. And of course the animals have to get involved.
Yep. All right. So some big news, everybody. Big news. I know by the time this episode is out, everybody's going to want to know, is Brooke's Kindle working? And yes it is. All I had to do was restart it.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah,
but
well,
that's a good fix.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. I love my Kindle. I'm glad it's working. I know it sounded like I didn't want it last episode, but I do. I actually got to read it last night. I'm so happy. Austin had to he just restarted it. I believe he just held down the lock button until it revamped up. So it's working. I know everybody was dying to know, but don't worry. My Kindle Paperwhite is up and running once again.
I actually was worried about that.
I was like, well, is she going to be able to tell me about the wolf and the woodsman? I'll never know.
I know.
Yeah.
Is it still as good as it was?
So far. We'll get into that. So, Becky, how's it going?
Going great. So this week, I told Brooke that today I felt like I was going to be like the major show hog because I feel like a lot of stuff happened this week and I want to talk about it. First of all, I was laying in bed reading Harry Potter to the girls, and my 9-year-old got frustrated because she wanted to watch a show and not read Harry Potter.
That's a shame.
So I was like, no.
Did you tell her she's wrong?
I said, no, we're going to read this chapter. And so she flung her hand back. And so I'm 42 and I really need bifocals, but I am in denial or have been. So I don't have bifocals. So to read, I have to put my glasses on top of my head or off to the side or whatever. And so when she flung her hand back in protest, I didn't even expect it at all. So I didn't close my eyes. I didn't move. And she scratched my eye. And then for those of you who don't know, you should not use allergy eye drops in this situation. I have blue eyes, and I used some allergy drops to clean out my eyes because I couldn't find just my plain Visine. And then I went to bed, and I woke up at midnight and had to use the restroom, and I looked in the mirror, and my right pupil was so dilated.
Yeah.
I was like, this is not normal. This is scary. Like, one pupil was so dilated, and the other pupil was normal, and I looked crazy. And I was scared out of my mind. I didn't know what to do. So I went back to bed. Because who's up at midnight to give you advice or let you be seen
maybe
by
you
a
needed
doctor?
to sleep it off. You know.
I woke up again later and it was still like dilated. Not as bad, but it was still pretty dilated. So I went to the eye doctor and she's like, yeah, don't use anything with an antihistamine because you have sensitive eyes and they will dilate your pupils. And so this is a lesson for everyone in case you didn't know, like myself.
Yeah.
And so I'm on antibiotics for my eye, and we're good now. The pupil is normal, thank goodness, because I was so scared.
Yeah, I bet. I know you sent that picture to the group chat, and I was like, oh no, Becky. So dang, Becky won't be in the work today.
I also sent it at midnight.
Yeah.
And I looked like a crazy woman who escaped an insane asylum or something.
Oh, it was funny.
I should have cropped it where all you could see was my eyes.
We'll live. We'll be all right. It wasn't that bad. But you could definitely see your pupil. It was huge. It was a little freaky.
Oh, so that was like my major thing that happened. And then a cool thing that happened this week was I bought our new headset that we're wearing, and Ricky's is like this pretty navy and mine is brown, and they're so cool, and I'm excited that we have something brand new. They are comfortable.
I like them.
So we had thought from the beginning that we needed new headsets.
Yeah.
And we've been using Austin's.
Yeah.
Right? They're Austin's?
One of them, well, yeah, they're both Austin's that he uses when he plays on Xbox, when he plays live with like his brother or his friends. One of them is his old one that he actually doesn't use, and it's kind of dingy. But then the nice one that I think you used last week, that's his current, like, to play on Xbox Live. That's what he uses to talk to everybody. So I have to keep remembering to go take it back upstairs, bring it back down when we need it, take it back upstairs. And it's his, so we wanted something that was ours. So
yeah.
I like these a lot.
And I also felt that since you guys bought all the other equipment, the least I could do was buy some headphones for us. So this is my initial contribution.
I'm just glad you're here, but I appreciate it. But I'm just so glad you're here. I'm so glad we're doing this. This is so fun.
Yeah, this is very fun. The girls are having a good time because they love Brooke's house. Ella says she's going to kick her out and keep it. I don't know how she plans on doing that.
We can see.
You and Austin could just adopt her.
Yeah, there we go. We can have joint custody. You can see her on Mondays. So anything you want to talk about? Yarn wise? Or anything else wise?
I actually need to order some more yarn, and I was going to do it this last weekend, but I spent all my money on other stuff. So I'm going to do it this coming weekend for sure, because I have to finish your sweater. And
I'm excited.
I'm actually like 80% done with the front of the sweater. Good. And so I need to finish stitching it together, and then I'll be 100% done with the front, and then I have to do the back.
Yeah.
So fingers crossed I get that done this week, or at least the majority of it, at least the square portion, because that's excited. The stitching is probably the most time consuming.
It's tedious.
To me, yeah, it's tedious. But working on the squares is fun. And I can't wait to like finish the back of it and then start the arms. I'm nervous about doing the arms.
Yeah.
Never have I ever done a sweater before. So looking forward to this and hoping that it looks good when I'm done.
Yeah.
Did you get any yarn this week?
I did not get any new yarn this week. I began testing my Karen 1 pound for my temperature blanket that I'm going to start in January.
Yeah.
And I've only gotten seven days done on the test rows that I'm doing. And I think Karen 1 pound's going to actually be more than enough thickness because it's already like an inch thick, and that's only 7 days. So 365 days, that's going to be a pretty big blanket.
Nice blanket.
Yeah, and I'm excited. I don't even think I'll be able to hold it up when I'm done. I'll have to probably like get somebody else to hold it up for me.
Two of us I'll hold one end and someone can hold the other end. Maybe Emma or Ella.
Yeah, so I'm excited to do that. Have you looked into any more colors for that?
I actually was looking at that yesterday, I think. And I think I might have a different idea as far as colors too.
Yeah.
I was thinking about getting some of the yarn that's like multicolored and using the one multicolor first for this or that temperature. So it would be like a pattern in one row and then like different pattern in the next row or whatever.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm kind of like, I've got a couple different things that I have saved in my crochet list on Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not 100% decided yet, but yeah, but I was looking for some.
Actually, I was just thinking when we were re-listening to our second episode before we uploaded it, I was just thinking while I was knitting, I was just doing it while we were listening. And I was sort of thinking maybe I should do like a ribbed pattern. That way you can like maybe see the differences in the colors better. Because right now it's just like normal plain garter stitch and it's just bumps, which is fine. It looks perfectly fine. It's actually really satisfying to see a nice garter stitch. But I was thinking maybe I should every day, or you can see the days different is what I mean. Not necessarily colors, because the color temperature might be the same for the day, like 2 days in a row, but you'd actually be able to see where, okay, well, this day she actually completed, like it was a full day done. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I was just thinking about that. I still have to assign the colors, so of course, I have so many things to do. Haven't done. Yeah. Do you have any hauls you want to talk about?
I don't have any hauls because I think I'm going to wait to buy more books until I'm maybe at least halfway done with this one book that I'm reading. I do have a list of books I'm going to order, and I already have it in my, shopping cart on Thrift Books, and it's only like $35, so that's not bad. And it's free shipping, so that's even better.
That's exciting. I'm so excited to hear about them.
So maybe this weekend I might order some more, or next weekend. So I might have something to say on the next podcast about a haul. But I did find that book series we were talking about that I couldn't remember the name of last week. So it's the Vicky Bliss mystery series, and it's also by Elizabeth Peters, which is actually, that's why I couldn't find it last week, because I was looking at the book covers for her series, but because they're so similar to the book covers for the Amelia Peabody series, I just thought it was another Amelia Peabody book. I couldn't remember. I recognized the titles. Yeah. But I didn't remember that, that's why I recognize the title, because I actually read that one. Yeah. And so it's the Vicky Bliss series, and I think the first one is Borrower of the Night. Yeah. In case anyone is interested. And like I said, she works at a museum, and her love interest, who doesn't start off that way, but her love interest is like an antiquities thief, and they solve murders together. Right. So it's actually really a really good series.
It sounds intriguing. I like the fact that she's like a museum curator. Yeah. And that she's having to help solve these mysteries. That sounds really interesting. Yeah. I'm glad you found them.
Me too.
You were like, you knew they were by the same person, but you were having a hard time finding them, but you were on the right track, and you got it. And I'm proud of you.
I played a detective.
Yeah, you did. Good job. Detective Beck. That's so funny. I have a little haul that I will talk about. It's not, I didn't buy these. These are books that I'm borrowing.
Sorry.
I was like, what? That wasn't me. So it had to have been me. I'm so confused. So I'm borrowing these books. The first one is Where the Crawdads Sing. I know that one blew up, and it's actually a movie now.
I've heard good things about it.
Yeah, everybody loves this book. Everybody loves this book. And this is one of the reasons I have not read this book. I can't help it. I don't know why I do that. Like, I just don't. One of my friends, I'm so proud of her. I'm just going to go ahead and give her a little shout out here. She hopped on the Colleen Hoover bandwagon, and she read one whole book in one day. She went from the first page to the last page. She read the entire thing yesterday, and I'm so proud of her because she likes to read. I know, that's so impressive. I can't even say that when the last time I did that was, and I actually consistently am a reader.
I don't think I've ever read a book in one day. I think the shortest amount of time is 3. Yeah. But I don't think I've ever read one in a whole day.
I don't know when the last time. I know I've done it before, but I don't know when. It's been a long time, if so.
Is it this thick that she read?
Yeah, she said it was 323 pages. Wow. So, and I was like, well, that's pretty good for one day. And And I'm just so proud of her. And she was like, okay, Brooke, I need a bookmark. So what do you got for me? I'm like, oh, girl, I might have an extra bookmark.
Right.
But so she borrowed this book, Where the Crawdads Sing by Delia Owens. I hope I'm saying her name right, Delia. And she borrowed it from a friend because we want to see the movie together. We'll probably have to rent it now. We've waited so long. It's probably not even in theaters now, which is fine. So we wanted to see the movie together, and she was like, well, that looks really good. I'm going to see if I can find the book without having to purchase it because I don't really want to purchase it right now. And one of her friends had it, and so her friend shipped it to her.
Oh, wow.
So that she could read it, and I said, can I please maybe borrow that book as well? I swear I'll give it back, and I'll love it like it's my own child. And she was like, oh, yeah, let me ask. And so she asked just to make sure. And her friend said that was okay. So this is probably the next one I'll read physically because I want to be able to get this book back to its owner.
Yeah.
But I'm really excited. It's I really don't even barely know what this book is about. This is a problem I have. I'm like, oh, well, sure, it sounds good. Do I actually know what it's about? No. I believe it's a mystery. I believe this girl she becomes like abandoned or she runs away and she grows up in a marsh. And I think it's in the Carolinas. Yeah, North Carolina. She ends up growing up in a marsh and I think she ends up being like raised by herself. Like she grows up alone, I think.
Oh, wow.
I could be wrong, so please nobody get mad at me. I know everybody loves this book probably.
She hasn't read it yet, so.
Right. And she ends up meeting some people and somehow, some way, somebody ends up murdered and they end up blaming her and they call her like the marsh girl and nobody likes her because she's just different from everybody.
Oh.
So I think she has to like figure out how to clear her name, like what really happened. It just sounds really good and it blew up. It became very, very popular. Everybody loves it. And the movie looked good too. I saw the trailer for it and I thought it looked pretty good. So I'm excited to read that. The next one I'm also borrowing from a friend, from a coworker of ours. It's called Alien Isolation by Keith R.A. DeCandido. Okay. And
right.
yeah, he said he loves this book. He said it's scary. He started to read this book because he's big into video games. And so he played the video game that it's based off of. It's called Alien Isolation, so I'm sure somebody's played that before. And he said it's very scary, and so he read it, and it was really good. And he's actually gotten a few other people to read it, and they actually really like it. So it's a part of the Alien movie franchises.
Okay.
I don't know if the cover gives that away or not, but I don't know if you've even seen Alien. I've seen the first Alien movie years ago, I think, but I don't really remember anything about it. But apparently it follows the main character from Alien, her daughter.
Okay. And
she has to like survive throughout this world, I guess. So I think it's going to be good. I think I want to read a scary book soon, but since he's not, needing to give it back to anybody, I'll probably read it next after Where the Crawdads Sing.
Yeah.
He did say he wants it back, so don't worry, I will be returning it. I'm very adamant about giving back books that belong to other people. Because I want my books to come back.
Right.
So those are my only 2 hauls, really. Yeah, so did you finish anything?
I have not finished anything.
Okay.
I had to talk to Emma about the app you're telling me about.
Oh, yeah. Scribd. And because I couldn't find it on my phone, so I was confused. I didn't know if I was spelling it wrong or I don't know. So she said, oh, I have that app. I'll show it to you. And then when we got home, she didn't show it to me. So we have to do that today. And then we can start listening to a book in the car, like we were doing with the other 2 audiobooks that we read. So I definitely want to start a new audiobook. Yeah.
No, I'm still reading the one book. It looks like I'm close to halfway done with it. And then we're not even halfway done with the first Harry Potter book.
Yeah.
But that's because I'm only reading it at night with the girls. So if we get home later than we normally get home, I don't read it because it's time to go to bed.
Right.
So I try to make sure that we're home when we're supposed to be so we can read it. And then like last night, I read it because I really wanted to read Diagon Alley.
Yeah.
And
it's hard.
And I hadn't I hadn't read it yet. And so I was like, we've got to read this chapter tonight.
Yeah.
And so Ella wanted to watch Hotel Transylvania 4, which was finally out on something that we are subscribed to. So we watched that. And so it was like, I don't know what time I started reading Diagon Alley, but it was 11 o'clock when we were done. And I was like, do you want to read another chapter? And Emma's like, it's 11. And I said, never mind.
Never mind. I guess I gotta go to bed. Yeah, I know.
So I really wanted to read 2 chapters last night. But anyway, I'm really enjoying it though. And I'm liking the minor differences that there are.
From the
It's
movies.
not like terrible.
Right.
And I'm envisioning Hagrid in my head, and at first I was confused because I haven't seen the movies in a while, so like it doesn't say the name of the boy that he meets in the shop. So I'm reading it, I'm like, oh, is this when he meets Ron? And then I kept reading, I was like, no, this isn't Ron. I'm like, oh, this is Draco. And
Yeah.
So that was fun, and I couldn't remember Draco's name. I was like, what is that boy's name?
Yeah.
And it was like Draco, and I was like, yeah, this
That's
is Draco.
I'm glad you're enjoying it. I'm glad you want to keep reading it, even though you can't. That's always fun. Yeah, I really like those. I can't every time. This is going to be a constant with every episode. I'm be like, well, I really want to read Harry Potter. This is the third time.
I have a question to ask you. I don't know if they answer it in the book, but it's really clear that it specifies like you can have an owl, a cat, or or a toad. How does Ron have a rat if you're allowed an owl, a cat, or a toad? It's really specific.
So I think I don't know if it, and anybody else who happens to listen, please feel free to email us or DM to correct this. But I don't think it specifically addresses that. But I think it has something to do with the fact that he does have a rat when he first meets him, doesn't he? I was sort of thinking maybe he doesn't have the rat until the second year, and maybe after the first year they're allowed to have rats and maybe other animals. But no, he has Scabbers right when Harry meets him for the first time, which is their first year. So I don't know. I mean, it does come to light later on in the series, more in detail about the rat. Right. So, I don't know. That's a good question. I think I probably wondered that myself. So maybe it does answer that, but I don't think it specifically answers that without going into later in the series. So, I don't know. Good luck.
I can't wait to find out.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe I need to reread it again now just to answer your question. Any excuse. I got to read where the Crawdads sing. I got to get it back. My conscience won't let me read anything else.
That's so funny.
Yeah, what was I going to say? I actually did get to finish 3 things.
Okay.
So, yay! I finished. I did not necessarily begin it and then finish it in the same day like my very impressive friend, but I got to finish the audiobook I was listening to, Eclipse the Moon. Finished that finally. I thought it was just going to be 2 books in the series. I thought it was just going to be a duology. It definitely is leading into a trilogy, at least a trilogy at this point. It could go on, and I just don't know. So the ending of it definitely leads into a trilogy. It was okay. It was fine. I feel like I sounded a little too harsh on it the second episode when I was talking about it, but it really was better than I was leading on. Like, I think I just expected to be able to appreciate a different plot more. And I think I would have appreciated the story more if it was still from the first person's perspective from the first book, Hunt the Stars. But no, I mean, it was a fine read. I'll probably read the third one when it comes out. Who am I kidding? I gave it a 3-star, which is just average for me. Not great, not horrible. But it was, I would read it again, I guess. I wouldn't read the Eclipse of the Moon again. Maybe that's a determining factor. A 3 stars, like, okay, this was good enough to finish. It was perfectly fine. It was not terrible. But will I reread this book? No. Will I continue with the series? Yes. So it was okay. I got to finish. Sorry, I'm trailing off a little bit. On Audible, they have Audible originals. Mm-hmm. And sometimes they're like novellas or like almost short story books. And I just had one in my library. It was called See How They Run.
Okay, that's a good title.
Yeah, it was a good title, wasn't it? Oop, I don't know how to work my phone. Going to Audible so I can get the author's name. See How They Run by Rachel Housel Hall, and it is narrated by Imani Parks. I think I've heard her narrate something else before. She did a pretty good job. See How They Run, it's only just under 3 hours of audio. So it's 2 hours and 48 minutes. And I actually happened to finish Eclipse the Moon as I was leaving one morning for work, because I was driving separate for XYZ reason. I don't remember why. And, oh yeah, I guess nobody knows. For anybody who doesn't know, I carpool with my husband. So I was driving separate for whatever reason. So I finished Eclipse the Moon then, and I instantly was able to start See How They Run. Mm-hmm. So I listened to it on the way to work, and then I listened to it on the way back home. I listened to it on the way to the grocery store, and on the way back home from the grocery store, and then I listened to it while I was like cleaning the house or cooking dinner, and then I finished it. So I did finish a book in a day, but it's a little different when you're reading a physical paper book as opposed to audio, and you can just like do household chores and just go on about your day. It was pretty good. It is about, you're following the sister of someone who has just now come into a family business where they do like glamping, but it's for rich people. Mm-hmm. So you can go to like different campsites, and this one I believe it was in Utah. I think it was in Utah, I'm pretty sure. And so they have these like really nice pavilions with these nice tents set up, and they have like a dining hall and stuff, and it's for wealthy people. So they have all these like nice things. They had talked about how their competition had like heated floors and stuff. And I'm like, oh, that's glamping. Like I've been glamping before, but like that's not even glamping. That's like you're stupid rich.
Right.
Why are you even out here? Like glamping to me is just a camper.
Right.
As opposed
not
to
a tent.
Yeah, back on the floor tent. So it was pretty interesting. This woman, she gets off this plane and she's like going to one of the locations because her brother is now getting married, and they've decided to get married at one of their campsites. So she's going to go visit, and she gets there, sees some weird stuff at the airport, and she's just like, oh, this is interesting. And it makes her think of like her past relationships and things like that. And you're just in her head while she's thinking, and she gets to the place and she gets to say hi to her brother and meets everybody there. And she hasn't even met her brother's fiance. This is like, they were dating for, I think, like 2 months or something. And then they decided to get married. And nobody had even met her. Wow. Like her parents, or nobody. So this is her first time meeting her. She's like, oh, she seems nice. And everybody's getting along fine. And then like some weird stuff starts to happen at this campsite. And it's like, oh, what's going on? Who's making this weird stuff happen? And it's a little weird. There is a bit of like alcohol abuse involved, so just getting that out there. It was pretty good. I didn't like the ending. I liked like 2/3 of the way through. I was like, oh, this is pretty interesting. I'm enjoying this. And then like the last chunk, I was like, this is sort of dumb. It had so much more potential for a solid ending than what it gave me. The ending became like rushed and like cartoonish. Like it wasn't interesting and scary and thrilling and like, oh, what a great plot twist. It was just like, really? You're like a cartoon villain. Like this isn't enjoyable anymore.
That's how I felt about the end of the Blair Witch Project. Yeah. I actually sat through that, and at the end I was like, what? This is not the right way to end this.
Yeah. I'm not part of the unpopular opinion where I was like, oh, I kind of like the Blair Witch Project ending, but I understand. I get why people don't like. That's not always certain people's cups of tea. Right. I was actually talking about that kind of layout for a movie or show where it's filmed like via camcorder and it's a little shaky and like you're following people like that. I was telling him, I was like, I actually kind of enjoyed that because it's so ominous, especially when you're out in the woods and you're like, you don't know what's happening and it's so creepy and it's almost like you're there, but you're not, obviously. And I get why people don't like that kind of stuff. And then the ending on the Blair Witch was like, oh, people were so mad. Yeah. People were so mad.
Yeah,
which I get it.
I didn't mind the realism part, like the camcorder thing. I think that is a cool idea. Yeah. But yeah, the ending was like, why?
I know. It was a little, it left some stuff to be desired.
Yeah.
But I know I'm a part of the oh, I kind of like the Blair Witch Project fan club. I'm like the second person in it or something. So yeah, I got to see how they run. I finished Eclipse the Moon. See How They Run was it was an audiobook. I mentioned that. And I did, to answer your question pre-podcast, I did finish Anne of the Island. Yay!
Okay, so you were telling me, even though we are trying not to talk about books,
Yeah, it's so hard.
when we're not podcasting, you did tell me there was part of the book that you didn't like and you almost wanted to stop reading it. Did it redeem itself?
It did. It did redeem itself. Not enough to give it a 5-star rating, which was disappointing because I gave Anne of Green Gables and Anne of Avonlea 5 stars because I loved them. They were just so heartfelt and great. And I just adored Anne so much. And I still adore Anne. She's really great. But yeah, I almost stopped reading Anne of the Island.
You should black out that section in the book.
Yeah.
And when you reread it, then
just
you don't
skip
have
right
to.
Over.
Yeah.
Just skip right over. I don't know if it shouldn't be spoiling anything. It's just a random thing that happens twice in the middle of the book. But I feel I'm going to mention it just because I feel like maybe other people who are interested in the Anne series and love Anne and appreciate Anne as much as I do, that they might want to know going into the third book that there are 2 very random instances of animal cruelty, which is not something I enjoy in my books at all. I know we talked about last week the W. Bruce Cameron books about like A Dog's Purpose, A Dog's Journey, and I'm like, oh, they're so sweet, and I love them. Yeah, I love animals.
Right.
And so these random 2 instances really like kind of slapped me in the face. I was like, whoa, why? First of all, why?
Right.
But they're brief. They are back to back, and I don't know if she just felt like she wanted to keep them in there, and I guess if she had to have them in there, having them right after the other in the middle was the best way to do it. That way you don't even have to encounter that for the rest of the book. I don't know why it had to be in there, but okay, I dealt with it. And so, yeah, it redeemed itself. I won't say how it redeemed itself because that would be spoiling it. But I did end up very happy. It was a solid ending. And yeah, I really liked it. It was pretty good.
And I have to say, going back, I also don't like animal abuse.
Right.
My dad
Who does?
always, animal abusers probably, but my dad always likes to quote Gandhi when he talks about you can tell the real heart behind a person by how they treat an animal.
Yeah, you really can.
You know, the first instance you told me about, though totally unnecessary,
right,
as you say, I can almost be okay with that more so than the second. The second instance is like,
why?
Yeah, why?
Why?
And I feel like, and it's been a long time since I've seen the movies, but I think that the second one was in the movie. And I only say that because I feel like I remember, but I think it was Anne that witnessed it in the movie. Because I feel like I remember her walking down the lane and seeing that. Mm-hmm. And I don't know why I feel like that is, because like I said, it's been a really long time since I see the movies. Yeah. But when you told me that, it flashed in my head. And I remember, if in fact this is a real memory, that it was like scary to me. Mm-hmm. Now I was younger, obviously, and didn't exactly understand what was happening when I saw it, I don't think. But I feel like it is in the movie. And I don't know why either.
I don't know why either. But
I think the neighbor is like just a mean neighbor. Yeah. And I think that's why that was in there.
He's like a grumpy, cranky person.
Yeah, just all around like not a nice person.
Yeah. But I don't want anybody to not want to read the Anne series. I just, if you think about reading the Anne series by L.M. Montgomery, just be aware when you get to the third book, like 50% of the way through, you're going to get like whiplash and you just have to power through. Unless you don't want to. You can do whatever you want.
You're going to be sad. You're going to be not happy at all.
You're going to want to vent about it at work. Yeah, I don't know why it had to happen. I agree. Like the first one was at least a little more humane. Even though it still sucked.
Wasn't necessary.
And was definitely unnecessary. But the second one was like, I mean, I think that was the instance where I was like, "Why? Should I just stop? Should I just not read anymore? Because I don't want my vision and love of Anne and the world here to be completely ruined." But no, it redeemed itself. It's a pretty good last chunk of the book. It's pretty good. So, power through. So, what are you currently reading?
I'm still currently reading Pizza. I can't even remember the
I
name.
know, it's such a long title. It's so funny.
Pizza, Love, and Other Stuff That Made Me Famous, or something like that.
I think that's right.
And it's actually good. It's still going good. She's getting ready to start her adventure. I don't want to give away what her adventure is. Reading the title alone kind of tells you something happens because she gets famous. So I'm interested to see what happens once she leaves Georgetown and goes to California. I don't think that's a spoiler to say she goes to California. So it's still, I'm enjoying it.
That's good.
And of course I'm enjoying Harry Potter.
Naturally.
And so if I can get Emma to show me Scribd, then I'll start my next audiobook, which is going to be the next Dewberry Farm.
Okay, yeah.
Or if Ella's not interested in finishing that series, we might start
Please say The Hunger Games.
The Hunger Games. That's what I was trying to think of. Because I think that she's old enough to read The Hunger Games.
Yeah. I don't think there might be some intense moments, but they're not like.
But this kid has
bad.
watched what's that show everybody likes that I can't bring myself to watch? It's kind of creepy. Sean Astin is in it. He dies. His name is Bob.
Oh, the Stranger Things.
She's watched Stranger Things.
Stranger Things is spooky. Especially
And
this
so I
last
feel
season.
like if she can watch Stranger Things, she can hear The Hunger Games. So.
Yeah, I think so too then. I don't think The Hunger Games is not as intense as Stranger Things. I mean, okay, it's a little intense. The basis of the plot is intense, but
right.
like, it's
and
not.
that's all I really know about it is the basis of the plot. And I think that's why I'm not interested in it.
It's good though.
Or why, I never put forth an effort into watching the movies or reading the books because of how it was described to me. And I'm like, I don't know.
What do you mean? Teenagers killing each other?
Yeah.
One has to come out of the arena? That doesn't...
No, it
doesn't really
interested
do
me.
it for you? Yeah. No, I can see why that wouldn't. But I promise you, it is worth it. It is so good. It is so good. And if you hate it, then you have to punish me somehow. You can pick how, but I promise you will like it a lot. And that's all. You're currently just reading the pizza famous.
Yeah. The famous pizza person.
That one. Such a long title. It's funny. I am currently reading. I'm not currently physically reading anything. I finished Anne of the Island yesterday, later into the day, and then I just was like editing my heart out to get the second episode done. And then it was night time, and I went upstairs. And since I didn't work today, obviously we're off on Mondays, so we can record our podcast, I laid in bed and read some of my Kindle since it's working. Yay. So I read the rest of the chapter that I had gotten stuck on in The Wolf and the Woodsman, and it's pretty interesting. I wanted to keep going last night, but I was like next to Austin, who was like, it was dark in the room, he was trying to go to sleep.
Right.
So I was like, well, okay, I'm just glad that I got to read a little bit today, finished a book, and I got to read The Wolf and the Woodsman some more by Ava Reed. And yeah, so the chapter I finished was a little intense, I'm not going to lie. It was pretty, whoa, this is dramatic. Like, what is happening here?
And that's why you wanted to read some more.
Yeah, it was good. So it gave me, I know you probably haven't read the Shadow and Bone trilogy.
No.
Have you watched it on Netflix?
Mm-mm.
You probably like that series. I'm just gonna rack them on up for you, Becky. So
I'm gonna have to listen to the podcast just to take notes on what I need to be watching.
Don't worry, go to the show notes. So The Wolf and the Woodsman, it's giving me Shadow and Bone vibes, and I'm digging that. I'm digging that for sure. It's pretty good. I'm also currently reading an audiobook on Audible called Kafka on the Shore by Haruki Murakami. It's a translated book. It's Japanese translated fiction. So, and it turns out I like Japanese translated fiction because this is the third one that I've listened to. Actually, I've actually just listened to the translated fiction that I've listened to or read, and it's pretty good, pretty interesting, it's a big book. It's like I still have like 18 hours of audio or something.
Oh, wow.
It's a honker. But so far, it's pretty interesting. You're following. Well, I was trying to make some notes when I was reading it so I could actually like piece together my thoughts. And I believe there are 3 main events that have occurred that you're reading and following. The first one is this boy who, if they said his real name, it's already slipped out of my head and I have no idea what his real name is. But he runs away from home. Why? I don't know. Other than I think he might be a little, like he doesn't get along with his dad very well. But that's so far the only reason. He runs away from home. That's the big thing. He planned it out. He's staying somewhere, and he's just been going to a library every day. And so that happened. He goes by Kafka. He's saying his name is Kafka because he loves the author Franz Kafka. I've never read Franz Kafka, but I know, I mean, he's like a classic author, I think. Some people who have read him really love him, and he talks about some of the books by him. And then another thing that happens is a school teacher, completely different from Kafka. She takes her students on this like day trip to some woods, and they're like finding mushrooms. They're just doing kid stuff with teachers. And so they go out and they're finding mushrooms, edible mushrooms, and they don't eat them until they get back to the classroom so that somebody can make sure they're okay. But while they're up there, she's like going on finding some mushrooms herself, keeping an eye on the children like a good teacher. And she turns around and they're like all passed out on the ground. They're just all unconscious. And she's like, SOS. And it's during war times that this is happening. So she said that she noticed like a plane going overhead, and she thinks it was an American plane. And so everybody's thinking, what happened? Was it an American plane like they think it was? And if so, did that have something to do with the children becoming unconscious? Did they drop a gas that knocked the children out? What happened? Did the children all just happen to ingest a gas that was already on the forest floor? So that event happens. And then you follow later on this man who, for whatever reason, can talk to cats. And that is like my favorite part of the book, when you get to follow along with the man who can talk to cats. He is so funny, and the conversations he has with these cats, they vary from like really solid sentences and conversations. Like this one cat that he had a conversation with was like an intelligent cat. Like they just had normal conversations like, oh, well, yeah, that is very interesting. Yep, I'm so glad you told me this. This is all coming from the cat. And the cat's like, yeah, no, I've heard of that. Yeah. Like, they're just having a conversation. And it's so fun. And then it varies to another conversation he had with the cat where like the cat keeps saying something like, the tuna got caught. And the guy's like, I don't know what you're trying to tell me. I do not understand. And the cat does not understand. And he does not understand what the cat's saying. There's just this whole disconnect. And it's really funny to see the differences. But he looks for lost cats. And so people hear that he's really good at finding cats. They don't know why he can find cats so well. They don't know. It's a secret that to everybody else. It's not a secret to you, but it's a secret to everybody else that he can talk to cats. So it's really fun to follow along with that. I like when it goes back and talks about the event that happened with the children in the woods, because the way that the audiobook is set up is like you're almost listening to a documentary. And so it starts off saying like, on this date at this hour, blah, 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 and goes on. And there will be instances where it says, in the city of blacked out. And then like it keeps going like it's a secret document. And I'm really enjoying it. So it's pretty fun. I like it a lot. And so, yeah, like I mentioned, I'm not really reading anything physically at the moment. I'll probably start where the Crawdads sing today if I can. Yeah. You already said what you wanted to read next, maybe.
Yeah, well, definitely I'm going to, when I'm done with the first Harry Potter book, obviously I'm moving on to the second one.
Obviously.
That's obvious. As far as the next books that I have in my shopping cart,
yeah,
I have heard this title, but I've never read it. The Girl with a Dragon Tattoo. And then I found, randomly, Me Before You.
Oh, I have that.
Do you? And then there's one that's called After You by the same person. Yeah. And then there's another one called Still Me by the same person.
It's by JoJo Moyes, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then she wrote another one called Paris for One and Other Stories. So I have those all there. And then I have an Elizabeth Peters book in here.
Yeah.
It's called Murders of Richard III, a Jacqueline Kirby novel of suspense.
Ooh.
So I might need to go back and look at this because it has series 2, which means it's the second one, right? Is that what that would mean?
Series. Yeah, number 2. So you'll have
I
to
need
find
to go
the
back
first
and
one.
find out what the first one is.
Yeah.
I just noticed that.
Phew.
But that's what's in my shopping cart.
Yeah.
So I don't know which one I'm going to start with, but I'm leaning towards Me Before You.
Well, you can borrow mine if you want. I haven't read it yet. But that way you can at least see if you even like it, and then
before I buy all the
right.
other ones.
Yeah. So that's awfully convenient.
That is convenient.
What was the first one? You said The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo?
Yeah.
I've not read that. I saw the movie. I don't know how different they are from each other.
I was going to say, the title sounded familiar. I guess that's why.
Yeah, no, it's very popular. The whole series, a lot of people actually like them. I've not bothered to read them because I didn't like the movie, but that's different for everybody. So you might like it. The movie freaked me out when I watched it. I was a little young, probably a little too young to be watching the movie. And so it freaked me out a little bit. There was just one scene I did not like it. So I have not been interested in even reading them. But
you're making me rethink this decision.
No, a lot of people like them. So you might like it. But maybe it'll be on Scribd. That way you don't have to order it.
Yeah.
If you don't like it. Because then if you
this.
like it, then you can order it and then you can move on to the next ones.
Right.
So you never know. People have such different tastes when it comes to books.
That's true.
It's always very interesting to me to like, oh, I love this book. Oh, I hated it. Oh, interesting. Why? Oh, I liked it because of this. It's just interesting to see the differences.
Right.
But, yep. And, yeah, it's so funny. The listeners probably have whiplash from me saying all those 3 books that I might read last week. And now, none of those. I'm going to read Where the Crawdads Sing. So,
hey, but it just kind of fell into your lap, so.
Yeah, these are just 2 books that I was allowed to borrow, so just so happens that I'm going to read those first, just like it is, so it is what it is. As of right now, before we began recording, I just wanted to say thank you to everybody. All of the, 22 downloads?
Yes.
All of the 22 people who are listening to our podcast. That just means so much.
Absolutely.
It's so exciting.
It's so exciting. Like, the fact that you basically uploaded it and immediately there were 22 downloads.
Yeah.
Like, that's so cool to me.
I really hope.
Our friends and family love us.
I know, right? Like, we know who you are. We know who most of you are, at least. But we're just so glad that y'all are doing that. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, be sure to rate us.
Yes.
That impacts us. And I don't know if you can rate us on Spotify or Google Podcasts or the other several things that we're on. But if you can, please do that. That's greatly appreciated. So, yeah, that's so exciting. I hope they like us. I hope we're likable.
Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need some funds so that we can have an actual studio.
Yeah.
Which we love our animals, but it would be so cool to not have to take stuff down and put it back and all that. And have people over and not worry about them knowing where we live. Yeah. Or where you live.
No, they better not know. So this is a random thing that I just thought of, and it made me laugh when this person sent it to me. One of our mutual coworkers sent me a picture on Instagram, and she was like, "Oh, why did this make me think of you?" And she may have sent it to you too. It was, "What do you call a person who buys every book that they look at? Someone with no shelf control." That's so funny.
I can guess who sent that to you too,
Yeah.
without even looking.
That's funny.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, so I just thought that was really funny. Yeah, I think that's everything.
She loves puns.
Yeah.
She's a punny person.
Yeah, very punny, very punny. So maybe next episode we'll have some decisions made on
Book club?
a book club, Patreon, and all of those things. I'm really excited about that.
Find a book that maybe both of us would like to read.
Yeah.
And
cram it in our schedule.
Yeah.
I think so we'll get that decided and set up before next week, and then we can talk about it then and post on Instagram and whatnot. So This is just so much fun. I hope we have satisfied all the ears that are listening to us right now. I know you can hear our birds. Sorry.
We're not sorry. We're going to, when we have the studio, we're going to get birds just so we can keep having the sound.
Yeah, nature. You know? Sounds like we're just in the forest.
What's more relaxing?
Nothing.
Maybe
rain sounds.
Yeah.
All right. I believe that's everything.
All right, guys. So make sure you check out the notes because Brooke works really hard on those. And that way you don't have to work as hard at remembering what books we talked about in case you were interested in reading any of them. She'll have links for our Instagram, Facebook. Have you done TikTok yet?
Not yet. I'll probably do that today.
Okay. So she'll have links to everything that we currently have on there. And at some point when we are on Patreon, there will be links to that too. So just make sure you always, at the end of every podcast, check out the notes. And I'm doing my best to not sound like I'm reading a script, but I'm 42. It's harder to remember things these days. So I apologize if I sound like I'm reading a script. I'm actually not, but
we'll get there.
I'm trying to remember everything in my head to make sure that you guys get the full experience that you're supposed to get from a podcast, and I hope that I'm doing that. In conclusion, as our friend Anne says, kindred spirits are not so scarce as I used to think. It's splendid to find out there are so many of them in the world. And again, you are kindred spirits. Thank you for listening to us. We appreciate you, and we hope you have a wonderful week.
Yes, ma'am. Bye-bye.